Well, we're excited to be 1-0 in the league. You know, I was really worried about coming out of the non-conference. We had 2 really physical games in the non-conference and, you know, an emotional game last week. And I really thought the guys bounced back all week. I felt like we would play well. Really weird game. The game flow was weird. I think we had 5 drives in the first half. And so you're like, man, we only got 17 points, which, you know, we had the ball in the 1 and had to kick a field goal. But only had 17 points, had a touchdown called back, and you're like, man, we're playing well, but it was kind of awkward. I thought our D did a good job in the first half, keeping them out of the end zone, held them to a missed field goal, another field goal. Second half, it was good start, stop, 95-yard touchdown run. Chris told me that's the second longest run in SMU history. Okay, great. And but then again, and when you look at the film, it may be all on us. I mean, we had penalties, stopping drives on offense. We let them run the ball way too much in the second half defensively. They had 2 drives that we just, and they ate the clock up. They had killed us in time of possession and plays. But hey, anytime you can come away with a double-digit conference win, you're going to be happy, and we're really happy and excited going to the bye week 1-0 in the league. Any questions?
You mentioned the penalties that got a little disjointed in the second half and the emotion from last week. Do you think some of those penalties were sort of a leftover from the emotion and the energy you expended last week?
I don't know. I'll have to look. I mean, we did have the 1 false start backed up, and I guess that's why we wanted to. Maybe that wasn't the drive that it went 95, but we had the 1 false start backed up, and I don't know what happened there. I don't think we were offsides. I think we had 1 or 2 face masks and like 2 or 3 holds. So we'll look. You know, there's some fundamental things there, but those aren't undisciplined penalties. Those are penalties of aggression. You're going to hold every now and then. You're going to grab a face mask. Obviously, that's 3 to 5 pretty big penalties. You know, that help them extend drives and cost us. So I don't have any reason to believe it had anything to do with an emotion, but it is a little uncharacteristic for us to have that many penalties. So we'll look at it and see what it was, and if there's something we can fix, we'll definitely be urgent to fix it.
Jalen and Belton combining for 200 and something yards. The rotation with those 2 guys, what went into that? And just
Well, LJ was still not ready to go. We went into the game. It was going to be Jalen and Kamar. Kamar tweaked his hamstring in warm-ups. So didn't really know, though, because I think he even ran in on 1 play at one time, and then we subbed. Jalen was going to start the first 2 drives with Kamar spelling him, and then Kamar was going to start the 3rd drive, and we're just kind of vice versa throughout the game. We were going to use Tyler and Roderick Daniels at times. And when Kamar couldn't go, I mean, Velton, I tell you, I'm proud of Velton because he was ready. And I thought he had some really good runs. Obviously, Rooster had the long run, but I thought those 2 guys did a nice job, with a good 1-2 punch for us.
With that, you have the 1 drive that's the 1 play 95-yard run. You obviously have the short drive after their botched snap. Is it hard to evaluate some of the offensive stuff when there are some kinks in there that maybe are unusual with some short fields and some 1 play run drives?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we go down, we score in the opening drive. Then we got the short field, we scored. Then we got it back and we did something and we had to punt. I don't remember what it was. Then we drive it all the way down to the 1, and Preston even came over and said if I just hand the ball, I don't know if we'd scored, but then we'd had 3rd and goal at the 1. Instead we go back to the 5, and that's not good when you got the ball touching the goal line and you can't score. And then the drive before half, look, we'll see. Maybe we probably had a guy downfield, but I thought it was a heck of a job on 2nd and 1 by Preston. I got asked this week, does he have the chance to audible and check? Yeah, that was all him. It wasn't called a go ball to Keyshawn, but he was smart enough to know it's 2nd and 1. It was between a minute and a half, 2 minutes maybe. We had 2 times, like, hey, take a shot. We got 3rd down, and he did, made a great throw. We did have a run call, so, maybe we were too far downfield. But, then the next play, or 2 plays later, whatever, we threw the pick. But so the first half, like I said, felt like we played well. Second half, we scored, and then we were moving it, and I honestly am a little out of whack on the game flow about what happened, other than, I know we had a couple holding penalties that brought us back. I know the thing that stood out to me is we dropped probably 3 or 4 balls, that we can't, normally don't. But I thought Preston was a lot sharper, and I thought he bounced back pretty well this week.
You mentioned the pick there. Do you know what happened in that situation? Was it miscommunication?
On our interception?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah. So We just gotten a first down. I'm not sure what we did, and we were tempoing fast. We had a 3 verts from the left side, single to the right, and RJ has a two-way go. He can run a seam or sit it down, and Preston thought he was seaming. He sat it down, and right as he let it go, that was so he didn't force it. It was a miscommunication. I have to see it. I feel like RJ was probably correct, but we'll see. But he just came over and said, "I thought he was going to seam it," and obviously it didn't go our way.
Coach, your thoughts on the opening drive in the first touchdown on the time that you scored?
Yeah. Who scored it?
Junior.
Junior. Yes, got it. It was good because, I think the thing that we did go down last week and have a good opening drive. We botched one play and made us settle for a field goal. And then obviously we went down and scored a touchdown. So that's good. We're starting to start the game better offensively. And then the biggest thing for us was obviously it was only one play, but to start better in the third quarter because we haven't done that offensively very well this year. So that was important. But, yeah, that opening drive, it was like 13 plays or it was a bunch. I think we had a couple third down conversions. So was really proud of just to be able to put a drive together like that, start the game. The touchdown was obviously a jet sweep flip to Junior, who's just a football player, and they don't play a lot of cover two, and they corner blitz from the field. So he cut it up because there was no way Moochie could block him. I think RJ and Levine did a great job blocking for him, and then he just showed what Junior can do. He's a football player. It's a heck of a run and effort to get in the end zone.
What do you think of the defense's performance?
I thought the first half really good. I thought we controlled the game other than the one long run, which we were able to track him down. We contained the quarterback, which was a concern. The first half, good. Like I said, we held them. They got down inside the 5 or close one time, didn't get anything. Another time they had to kick a field goal. Really good first half. Second half, I think it's human. We score, go up 24-3. We were driving again, and we did something to have to kick a field goal, make it 27-3. I think we probably relaxed a little bit, but they had, credit them, they switched quarterbacks. He played well, but then they really just ran the ball on us better than we want people to do. And it's hard when you're preparing for 2 QBs, 2 offenses, but we don't want somebody to run for whatever they ran for, which was 167. Now 42 carries, but still, that's more than we want to give up. And so those last 2 drives that they scored on, we want to be better. But hey, you hold somebody to 16 points in the league, you should win. And overall, I think it was good. You had a question over here?
Yeah. Would you call that a business-like win or performance?
Probably. I think, look, first of all, we won. That's all I care about. I could care less if every game's ugly if we win them. I think you got to give 2 things. You got to give Charlotte credit. That's a good football team. They went and played Florida 22-7 in the swamp. They went to Maryland and were leading at halftime, and it was a 21-17 with 8 minutes to go in the game. Those guys got some dudes that can play. They play hard, and they don't quit. They play for 4 quarters. But, yeah, it might have been a business-like, mature win because it would be really easy to have a letdown, and it would be really easy at times in the game when we didn't maybe put the final distance away between the 2 of us to let them claw all the way back in and get super interesting. And every time they got too close, we did something to extend it. So it's not where we want to be. We got to have a finishing mentality. But, I think that's probably a pretty good word for it. Just a business-like. We're 1-0 in the league, getting to a bye week, which we desperately need. And hopefully we can rest up and have a great stretch run in the league.
Hey, Coach, coming off of last week, how important was it to get this win coming into conference play, and especially moving forward, knowing that you're going to be on the road twice?
Yeah, excellent question. It was vital because it didn't matter if we were 4-0 or 0-4 or 2-2. We've said this earlier in the week. Your conference season is a big deal, and I don't know what the data is, but there's so much data out there in this world. I would think if you start 0-1 in your league, you don't win it very often, right? So to start 1-0 was huge. The bye week comes at a good time. We're 5 games in. We haven't had devastating injuries, but we got 3 or 4 guys we'd love to get back for the league. But your point, yeah, we're going on the road. East Carolina's arguably maybe the toughest place to play on the road in our league. We got to go get a road win, and we got 4 of them left on the road. And if we want to put ourselves in contention, we're going to have to win a lot on the road. So I think it was huge for some confidence to get that winning feeling back. Going into this bye week, hopefully we can make good decisions, get healthy, and continue to just get better each week.
5 games in, how close do you think you are to where you maybe had envisioned this team could be?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I keep getting asked that question last week, like, hey, what did you after the preseason non-conference games and all that? I'm like, I don't know. You know, I think we're a work in progress. I think when you have that many new people, I think we've seen we have the potential to have a good defense. It's going to get tested every week in our league. I think, you know, we're better running the football. But we still want to get more consistent. I think our passing game's been up and down. I think, you know, Preston will continue to grow. I think the receivers will continue to grow. Like I said, I don't know the stats, but it feels like off the top of my head 3 or 4 drops. So we'll continue to evaluate that and get better. But I think we're taking the right steps. We're 1-0, and that's all that really matters.
Jonathan McGill had some nice plays across the field. He used a pass rush a couple times. What is it like having an athlete like that moving really fast to the ball?
Yeah, he's got great instincts. So gives you a lot of confidence having a guy like that in the post, because, you know, the safeties are the last line of defense, and the way we run our safeties, they're involved in the run game, but they also can't let people behind them. And so he really understands what offense is trying to do to attack us. He can read the quarterback's eyes. He breaks on the ball well. So he's definitely makes you feel comfortable having him back there.
The last touchdown, you guys are up 11.
Yep.
You could kick the field goal to go up 14.
Yeah.
What went into the decision to go for it, and then that play call for the pass to RJ?
Yeah, we were kind of in that weird moments of there was like 5, 6, 7 minutes left when we got the ball, and you're like, okay, well, we're only up 11 now, you know, so we can't. We did throw it on the first play. We were going to be aggressive. We weren't going to just stop and run it up the middle and punt. We wanted to go score, control the ball, but at the same time, you're trying to run the clock out. So we were kind of in between, and, you know, I think we had a 3rd and 3 or 4. I was really hoping we'd get, if not the first down, to 4th and short, and we didn't. We got to 4th and 2, and that's why I called timeout, because, like, you know, you kick the field goal. If you miss it, they get momentum. The last thing you want to do, not that I think they would have, but give them an opportunity to block it and run it back. Because now I think there was like 4.5 minutes left, and even if you don't get it there, they got 70 yards to go. You're still up 2 scores. I believe in our defense. I think the data said go for it, but I was kind of between. But then I knew they would play man, zero it out. They have to stop the run. They have to sell out, just like we did at the end of the game last week on 4th down. And just felt good that RJ matched up on the safety. Him and Preston have a good connection. We just felt like give them a chance, and they made the play.
Their big defensive end had a couple sacks
Yeah.
early, and then after that, he still had a couple of tackles, but he wasn't in the backfield and
Yeah.
he wasn't as visible. Did you all change your blocking schemes?
I think there's 2 things. You know, we ran the balls. We were intending to run it a lot early. We ended up running it a lot. Like I said, I think we only had 60-something plays. But, you know, those guys are really good pass rushing DNs, but we felt like you could run at them. So whether it would be Stoney, you saw Elijah Chapman got in there. I thought RJ and Nolan too. Like, we felt like we could run and block those guys with our tight ends, fullbacks, and tackles, and kind of take some of that off. Now, unfortunately, early on, you know, one of the sacks was on Preston because he tried to scramble backwards. And then the other one they got us on, they just beat our tackle. I mean, they're good. I think we didn't totally change our game plan. We didn't start double teaming or anything. I think our tackles just settled down and got used to that. You know, they're pretty explosive. And we didn't drop back as much maybe as we normally did. We were trying not to give them the opportunity to maybe turn it into a feeding frenzy. So I think it was a combination of both as after those first couple drives. You had a question?
Yes, sir. Coach, you know, it's been a few weeks since the announcement of the Mustangs going to the ACC. How have you and your staff and the players been able to handle this transition, you know, going from the American to the ACC next year?
Well, there's no transition for us right now. Not in football. Not me, not the players. So we've handled it by, you know, we had obviously a really tough non-conference slate. And, you know, our goal well before any of that stuff happened was to try to put ourselves to compete in the American, which is a really good league. And we'd love to see if we can put ourselves in contention down the stretch. And so there's no transitioning happening for us right now. You know, we're proud members of the American this season, and we really have a lot of respect for Mike Oresco and our league and the teams in our league and the coaches in our league, and we want to go out and compete and see how we can stack up against the good teams in our league. So we're not there yet.
And Coach, how has recruiting gone, especially in-state?
Yeah.
What's kind of been their reaction to the
Yeah,
move?
I think it's been good. You know, I think if you look, we had a couple 24 kids commit. I think there's a couple more that, I don't know, I think probably will soon, but we'll see. I think you look at our 25 class, I think we had 3 or 4 guys commit since, you know, in the last month. So, you know, I think the future of our program and where everybody sees it potentially going is helpful. I also think, you know, look, the more we can compete and win will help. But there's a lot of guys that are really interested in coming to SMU and playing football, and you know, hopefully that'll continue.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.